Hello and thank you for joining us on ERi-TV. This is English News Broadcast live from the headquarters in Asmara at exactly 10:30 p.m. We start with the top stars. Eritrea participates at Tokyo International Conference for African Development. Seminar to nationals held in Khartoum. Poland signs $5.8 billion arms deal with South Korea. Belarusian president says warplanes modified to carry nuclear arms. Local news. Senior Eritrean delegation composed of Mr. Osman Saleh, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Presidential Advisor Mr. Yamane Gabra participated at the 8th Tokyo International Conference for African Development held on 27th and 28th August in Tunisia. Explaining Eritrea's stance, Minister Osman said that almost 30 years have elapsed since the launching of the TICAD Forum in 1993, and in this respect, it is an auspicious time to undertake a comprehensive, objective, and factual appraisal of the progress achieved by the Forum so far on the basis of the following key pillars and metrics, including the extent of TICAD's contribution in tackling Africa's developmental challenge and its enhancement of the principle of African ownership within the matrix or framework of international partnership. Minister Osman went on to say that this assessment is critical in the current consultation as we ponder on ways and means for moving forward to expand our shared values and common objectives, and indeed, it behoves on us to draw appropriate lessons from past experience in order to bolster our future progress, indicating that the marginalized African continent, which reportedly possesses 60% of the natural resource in our global village, and with an estimated population of 1.2 billion, has remained the primary victim of these perilous policies. Minister Osman said that the people of Africa continue to be portrayed in very pejorative terms and depicted as poster children of poverty, hunger, interminable crises, and pandemics, pointing out that the map out Africa's developmental challenge, both in sectoral and quantitative formats, is a relatively straightforward task that does not require laborious work. Minister Osman said that the principle of African ownership is crystal clear, that does not pose ambiguity in terms of abstract notions, and the reality on the ground remains starkly different. Minister Osman also stressed that in this precarious times of transition in the prevailing global configuration, the respect of international law, the protection of the independence and sovereignty of peoples and nations, the deterrence of pillage and robbery, the nurturing of mutual respect, complementary and partnership guaranteeing national security and stability, and the achievement of development and prosperity will be crystallized when and only when we earnestly review with the requisite seriousness the shared values and objectives that we collectively cherish. Eritrean ambassador to the Republic of Sudan, Mr. Isa Ahmed Isa, conducted seminar on 26 August to nationals in Khartoum, focusing on the objective situation in the homeland as well as regional developments. Ambassador Isa called on the nationals to strengthen organizational unity and cooperation as well as participation in the national affairs, indicating that the external conspiracies and hostilities have not changed. Ambassador Isa called on the nationals in general and the youth in particular to stay resilient and defy all external attempts to derail the national development program. programs, pointing out that Eritrea is tirelessly working to ensure regional cooperation and engagement. Ambassador Isa expressed readiness of the embassy to stand alongside the communities and national association in all their endeavors. Ambassador Isa also said that the Eritrean embassy is exerting strong effort to ease the challenge that the Eritrean people residing in Sudan are facing, expressing the effort undertaken to address the shortcomings in the consular service. Ambassador Isa commended the infrastructure put in place and contribution of staff members with a view to provide timely consular service. At the event, Ambassador Isa handed over certificates of recognition to those that contributed in the national affairs and holidays. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. 3 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at testing station in the central region. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has accordingly increased to 10,154. The total number of recovered patients stands at 10,046, while the number of deaths stands at 103. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 28 August 2022. You are watching ERi-TV. We'll be back with international news after a short break. Stay tuned. Polish Deputy Prime Minister Marek Blaszczak, who also serves as the country's defense minister, signed the arms deals on Friday at the military base in the northern Polish town of Morag and handed them to the head of South Korea's Weapons Requisition Program Administration Minister, Eom Dong-hwan. Blaszczak underlining during the ceremony, boasting that it is most important that the first tanks and cannon howitzers will be available to Poland's army this year and that they are strengthening Poland's defense. Under the military contract with South Korea, Poland, a member of the US-led NATO military alliance, is purchasing 180 K2 Black Panther tanks made by Hyundai Rotem and worth $3.4 billion, as well as 212 kg Thunder howitzer built by Hanwha Defense and worth $2.4 billion. The deals also include training, logistic, and ammunitions. All of the weapons are expected to be delivered by the end of 2025, according to reports. Speaking through an interpreter, the Korean minister further pointed to the good relations and trust that the two U.S. allies have developed in their business as well as social and cultural relations. Also attending the ceremony were the heads of the Korean weapons manufacturers involved in the arms deals as well as Polish tank crew who will go to Korea for training in October. According to Blaszczak, Warsaw and Seoul also plan to sign an additional arms deal later this year for the purchase of 12 Fa-50 warplanes, a light training and combat aircraft jointly produced by Korean Aerospace and major American arm maker Lockheed Martin. President Alexander Lukashenko says the Belarusian military's Su-24 airplanes have been modified to carry nuclear weapons, and that Minsk would react immediately if the West caused it any problems. Lukashenko, the authoritarian leader of ex-Soviet Belarus, said he had agreed on the move to modernize Belarusian airplanes with Russian President Vladimir Putin. This is according to Belta news agency reports on Friday. Lukashenko, who has allowed Russian forces to use Belarusian territory to launch attack against Ukraine, did not go into details about how a weapon transfer from Moscow might take place. Belta cited Lukashenko as talking about a potential further threat from neighboring Poland, a NATO member, while saying he was confident that the Polish military, unlike Warsaw's politician, understood how Minsk would respond to what he called any escalations. His overall remark appeared to be referring to a potential threat from the West in general. and went on stating that it is not a good idea to escalate things with Belarus because that would be an escalation with the Union State of Russia and Belarus, which has nuclear weapons, and that if they start to create problems, the response will be immediate. And now a quick review of the top stars. Eritrea participates at Tokyo International Conference for African Development. Seminar to nationals held in Khartoum. Poland signs $5.8 billion arms deal with South Korea. Belarusian president says air warplanes modified to carry nuclear arms. That was all with the news for this evening, and thank you for being with us.